Donkey Kong Country 3. Out of the original trilogy, it's pretty widely considered the least loved entry. So, why did I pick this one for a challenge? Obviously because every game is special and deserves to be explored. No one else did it. Here's the plan. I'm playing through every level while collecting the fewest bananas possible. Then, we'll grade each level with medals. Gold for 0 banana clears, silver for 5 or fewer, bronze for 10 or fewer. Before we continue, I just want to say thank you for all the support so far. Seriously. And I've also got a new milestone challenge officially on the table. If you're new here, every time we hit a milestone, I attempt a challenge run of the game you'll see hinted on screen. With that out of the way, let's dive right into the game. If you're unfamiliar with Donkey Kong Country 3, unlike the previous titles, this time we're in control of Kiddy Kong and Dixie Kong. For this challenge, Dixie's small hitbox and her glide ability are crucial, so most of the time I'll be leading with her. Kiddy's role is mostly support, mainly to throw Dixie up and over obstacles when the levels tries to be difficult about it. First up is Lake Orangatanga, starting with 1-1 Lakeside Limbo. As you'd expect from the opening level, it's straightforward. A few throws, one well-timed glide jump, and we're looking at a comfortable 0 banana clear. 1-2 Doorstop Dash. Not far in, there's a platform sealed off by an arch of 4 bananas, and unfortunately, that's where the challenge officially begins. We have no choice but to grab the first banana just to move forward. A little later, there's a rope absolutely lined with bananas. So the questions are, can we climb it without collecting them? No. Can we clear the level without collecting them? Actually, yes. The very first 8 levels of this game are all equipped with a secret invisible warp barrel that we can make use of to skip to the very end of the level, 1 banana clear. From this point onwards, if I choose to use the warp barrel, it's only because the level can't be cleared with less bananas that I'd collect just by getting to it. 1-3 Tidal Trouble. This one is quite similar to the first level, except it takes slightly more precision. Squeeze under the bananas when swimming, otherwise glide over them. The only real roadblock here is this arch of bananas, but thanks to this conveniently placed bonus barrel, we're TP'd to the other side. Add in a few more precise leaps for a satisfying 0 banana clear. 1-4 Skidda's Row. Quick and easy, glide over to the other side of this potassium-filled pit and with a precise enough throw, enter the warp barrel for a swift 0 banana clear. 1-5 Murky Mill. This one sucks. Right at the start, there's an elevator section that's basically a full banana obstacle course. 51 bananas stacked vertically with 4 big curves. Avoiding them completely isn't possible, but we can minimize the damage. Here's the method. Land on the platform while hugging the right side, and make sure you're holding Y so Dixie hits the ground already in her running animation. From there, switch sides on each curve only when the bananas are closest to the center of the path. Then, throw Kiddy into the warp barrel positioned right above the Kong's head for a tricky 6 banana clear. 2-1 Barrel Shield Bust Up. Right out of the gate, there's a platform with 2 bananas that we can avoid with enough precision. But the next 4 are sadly mandatory. And even after climbing all the way up, the warp barrel is still pretty far. So yeah, this one we actually have to work for. And by work, I mean using a trick that's anything but intuitive, the zip. To perform it, let Dixie ride on Kiddy's shoulders. Wait for the mob, in this case the rat, to approach you. Jump at the very last second while facing towards the inner side of the tree. Immediately throw Dixie upwards. At the same time, the mob will have walked below Kiddy, freeing him from the throw animation. Finally, roll away as far as you can from Dixie, et voila! Now, it's only a matter of doing the correct directional inputs to appear just above the warp barrel for a slightly challenging 4 banana clear. 2-2 Riverside Race. As the name suggests, this level's gimmick is a swarm of insects chasing the Kongs. but it's not as bad as it sounds. All we need to do is glide cleanly over this banana line, then switch to Kitty, let the bugs hit him on purpose, and use the damage boost to calmly drift into the warp barrel for another 0 banana clear. 2-3, 2-4, and 2-5 all feature warp barrels that are within few steps from the starting point, making for 3 very unremarkable 0 banana clears. 3-1, Badz's Blockade. Underwater levels are actually some of the easiest for the most part, since they offer the most freedom of movement. Precise movement is more than enough to avoid collecting even a single banana. Not even these ones. 3-2, Rocket Barrel Ride. As you might have guessed from the name, this level is basically wall-to-wall barrels. And if there's one thing I learned from my last challenge run, it's that cannon sections are never a good sign. Take the very first rocket barrel while holding the left input to grab 2 mandatory bananas and realize that this is gonna be quite the long level. Glide over the next barrel, walk under this banana arch, then hop into the next barrel. With Dixie's hitbox, there's just enough space to land on the very edge of this ledge, collecting only 3 bananas out of the 5 present. Keep going to be met with yet another roadblock. For this barrel, by holding the right input and jump, you can barely make it to the right side while collecting only a single banana. Now, here's the nasty part. There's a section where the bananas perfectly follow the arc of your jump, meaning if you do it normally, you'll scoop up 5 like it's nothing. But there's a workaround to minimize the damage. Enter the barrel as Kitty, collide with the wasp at the top of its flight pattern, then use Dixie's glide to reach the barrel on the left. Doing that limits it to 2 bananas, and you completely avoid the right arc as well. After that, there's 1 banana you simply cannot dodge. And right after that, you'll be faced with a seemingly impossible jump. But what if I told you that you can actually get away with 1 banana? Let me introduce you to what I like to call a slip jump. For whatever reason, in this game, if you roll, or in Dixie's case, spin, off a platform, you get a brief mid-air window where you can still jump. So here, take 1 banana, then slip jump under the banana arc. Unfortunately, the banana placement in this level is just brutal for this challenge. There's a chunk with 14 bananas that you cannot get through cleanly. Best I could manage here was 2. I think that's optimal, but I can't swear on it. I just know I gave it an unhealthy number of attempts. From there, do another slip jump, enter the barrel, and you're forced into 3 more bananas. To avoid the remaining 2, wait until Dixie reaches the apex of her jump, then hold right to land in the next barrel cleanly. Another slip jump gets you 3 out of 5 bananas, then break the DK barrel to get your partner back. Only to immediately ditch him again, because the level repeats the same layout from earlier. The second time, you can actually reduce the first forest pickup. You can get away with 1 banana instead of 2. The timing is insanely tight, but it's doable. Since Kitty gets launched slightly higher here, if you hit the wasp exactly at the top of its pattern, he won't clip the rightmost banana. Then glide to the left barrel again. Next, jump between the wasps collecting only 2 bananas and keep going forward until you see another seemingly impossible jump that can be thankfully skipped by throwing Dixie up to the platform above. Sacrifice Kitty again for a damage boost, then glide over the banana arc to spare yourself 4 out of 5 bananas. Finally, make your way to the end of the level and avoid all 5 bananas with a very precise slip jump for a pitiful 22 banana clear. 3-3 Creeping Clasps. At first glance, this level looks like a nightmare. Ropes everywhere, movement heavily restricted, and the water is basically off limits because the piranha will hunt you down in sight. Or at least, that's what the game wants you to think. Clearing this level is actually much simpler than it looks. Just dodge, 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 and keep dodging until you get to this bonus barrel that will TP you to the other side. What's next, you say? Well, of course, a lot more dodging. Keep your wits sharp and get to land safely for a slightly exhausting 0 banana clear. 3-4 Tracker Barrel Track. Barrel is the last word you want to see in a level name, and this stage wastes no time proving why. The first hurdle is a barrel. Roll into it while holding the right input to collect only 5 bananas. The next one is even more unforgiving, forcing us to instantly collect 10 more bananas. Getting past this wasp while minimizing the damage is possible though. Switch to Kitty to collide with the wasp and perform a damage boost. Do note that in order for this damage boost to work, Kitty has to collide with the wasp as he's rising, since otherwise the barrel won't follow Dixie after. We get off the hook with 1 less Kong and 1 more banana. Optimal trade. The next barrel requires a stupid amount of precision if you want the minimum bananas. Line yourself up with the rightmost point of the wasp's flight pattern. You want to be launched to its right the instant it turns away, without getting hit. Let Dixie fall below banana height, then hold left. If you do it cleanly, you escape with only 1 banana here. Glide over the bananas to your left to get to yet another barrel that will shoot you to an upper platform where you can reunite with Kitty. Here, you want to avoid grabbing Ellie with a well-placed throw, because she doesn't have the maneuverability we need for this run. Sorry, Ellie. We're near the end now, and you know the drill. Another banana-infested barrel sequence. With a smart damage boost, you can avoid everything except the 2 mandatory bananas at the start. That is, if you can precisely land in the tiny gap between the wasps and the bananas on your way to the platform. Last 2 cannons. For the first, take 2 bananas. No workaround. For the final one, enter with Kitty. Collect the first banana, then use the same damage boost tracking trick from earlier. Glide into the cannon again to wrap up this level with a very exhausting 22 banana clear. 3-5 Fish Food Frenzy. This level's gimmick is a piranha that follows you throughout the entire stage and grows hungrier as time goes. Feed him or you become the food. This being an underwater level and the lenience of the banana placement make it an easy stage for our challenge. There's only a single section that requires you to necessarily take damage from the piranha to reset his hunger, but it's hardly worth mentioning since there's a DK barrel right after. From there, just swim to the goal for a clean 0 banana clear. Kicking off World 4, also known as Potassium Hell, with 4-1 Fireball Frenzy. Right away get past the first banana stack with a throw and keep moving until you hit this banana arch. The ceiling's too low to throw over it, so we're forced to take 1 banana just to slip through. Then, glide down to the lower path. Get on the elevator while carefully positioning yourself on its edge to avoid collecting the bananas. Employ the same trick for the next one. After that, it's ropes. Jump from side to side carefully and you can dodge everything clean. Not too far ahead, you'll reach a vertical drop that's just stuffed with bananas. First, get onto the platform on the right. Again, low ceiling, so that's another forced banana. Wait for the lava orb to pass, then drop immediately at full speed. Near the bottom, you need a stupidly fast, precise glide to the left to land safely and avoid the banana wall. And do not glide earlier during the fall unless you want a complimentary lava shower. Glide down and walk your way to the rope. At the very end of it, there's a banana arch that clearly blocks our way to the platform. Sadly, there's no way to get to it without collecting any bananas from this rope. But we can make use of the cauldrons below, so let Kitty do what he does best, take the hit for the sake of our progress, and use the iframes to get to the platform safely. Speaking of platforms, keep going to eventually find out that the next platform has an unavoidable line of 8 bananas taking away our silver medal in a foul swoop. From this point, there are almost no bananas left at all, so just carefully make your way to the flagpole for a somewhat disappointing 10 banana clear. 4-2 Demolition Drain Pipe. This is a side-scroller level that has to be played inside the toboggan, which means your movement options get cut down to jump and don't jump. This is going to hurt. Take the first cannon and grab the first mandatory banana. From there, stay glued to the metal pipe to keep it to 2 bananas. Then, time a jump over the wasp so you only collect 4 out of 5. Jump over the ladybug to avoid the top banana. Then on the next set, jump early to collect 2 out of 4. Immediately after, don't jump so you only pick up 2 more. Eventually, you hit a row of 8 bananas. Jump as late and as high as possible to collect only 4. Then stomp the wasp to bounce over the rest. A little further in, there's a 5 banana arch sandwiched between 2 wasps. Time it so you bounce off the wasp and only collect 3. Then, the game remembers what world we're in. 2 consecutive arches show up, 10 bananas total. Employ a damage boost to slip below both, only collecting 2 bananas. Right after, precisely hit the first banana with your jump and hop immediately again to soar past the next 2. Jump right below the line of bananas and retrieve Dixie. Not too far ahead, there is yet another banana arch where we can only manage to avoid 1 banana out of 4. Now for the only technical section. 2 consecutive arches totaling 11 bananas. Time your jump so you collect 4 out of 6, then slip off the valve so the toboggan clips the wall at a diagonal. If you do it right, you get this explosive damage hop that saves you 4 out of 5 bananas from the second arch. Finally, slip under this big arch of bananas, collecting only 2. Jump on the valve for 2 more, and bounce on the ladybugs to collect another one. To close it off, get to the cannon that adds insult to injury and forces you to grab 3 more bananas. Roll it into the flagpole for a truly heartbreaking 39 banana clear. 4-3 Rip So Rage. Rip So Rage is hands down the hardest level for this challenge. The gimmick is simple, the saw rises way too fast, so you're basically on a timer the entire time. The moment the level starts, climb the first 3 platforms immediately, landing on the exact edge of each one so you only grab 1 banana per platform. Once you're up top, time to jump across so you only take 2 out of 3 bananas, then grab 2 more to reach the left platform. Stick to the wall and jump 4 times off camera while holding Y to clip through the ceiling and be teleported to the section right above this one, skipping about a quarter of the level. Do note that everything you just saw has to be done as fast as possible, since being even 1 second off will make it impossible to clip through the ceiling. From here, switch to Kitty and use a reverse throw to avoid collecting the 3rd banana, then switch back to Dixie. Glide over the next banana line, keep climbing and you'll run into 3 more mandatory bananas on the way up. Skip another chunk with 2 vertical throws, then climb the next tree for unfortunately 8 more mandatory bananas. Once you're out, a few more precise throws and careful positioning lets you avoid the bananas in the middle and collect only 3. Skip the next platform with the throw, climb the other tree for 6 more, then work back to the left side with a series of precise throws while collecting only 1 banana. Now, avoid entering the right tree by threading the needle. Throw Dixie through that tiny gap between the branch and the bananas. Now quickly pause the game and memorize this tree's layout, because what you're going to do here is climb it as fast as possible. So fast that these 2 bananas on top won't have loaded in by the time you get to the top. Simple enough, right? Exit from the left and keep climbing. Again, while paying attention to always land on the very edge of the branches to pick up 1 banana at a time. Throw Dixie to the right side and carefully evade the first 2 bananas. The 3rd one is mandatory. Finally, get on this branch collecting only the lowest banana. Switch to Kitty and damage boost to the flagpole collecting only 1 more banana for an even more heartbreaking 40 banana clear. I need to catch my breath. 4-4 Blazing Bazookas. World 4 continues to prove it's the biggest hurdle in the game, because even getting past the opening of this level is absurd. Right away, pick up Dixie and thread her through the tiny gap between the bananas. The timing here is ridiculously tight. Dixie needs to not only avoid colliding with the barrel, since that'll TP her right back to Kitty, but also land in a way that he gets to move before getting hit. To do so, throw Dixie so that she lands exactly as the barrel lines up in front of her. The moment you regain control, switch to Kitty, pick her back up, and jump the incoming barrel while moving forward, also dodging the banana above. Now instead of taking the cannon and eating a whole banana tax, we use another barrel as a boost. Throw Dixie onto the very edge of the upper platform and keep it to 1 banana. From there, you'll hit the mandatory cannon barrel. Shoot onto the rope with precise timing, move to the right as fast as possible, dodge the next incoming barrel, then glide between the last 2 bananas before entering the next cannon. Here the ceiling is too low for a throw, so you have to slip in from below and get into the cannon without landing on the banana sitting there like a landmine. Next rope. Dodge to the other side, then land on the absolute edge of the platform. Get on top of the Kremlin's bazooka with the lowest jump you can manage. Land in front of him, immediately switch to Kitty, let him eat a barrel and use the damage boost to clear the lowest banana. And surprise, another cannon. Into another rope. Move left at full speed and let go at the last second, right before you'd collect the 3rd banana, so your momentum carries you onto the platform. Now here's the part that hurts. After all that effort, the game throws more mandatory cannons at you anyway. Take the first one normally, then let Kitty tank another barrel so Dixie can damage hop into the bonus barrel on the left, which conveniently lets us skip the arch on the right. Last stretch, drop onto the rope while avoiding the bananas above. Move right fast, jump over the last banana, hit the next rope, dodge the barrel while still being forced into 3 bananas, and crawl over to the flagpole for a less than impressive 27 banana clear. 4-5 Low G Labyrinth. I mean, the level's gimmick is self-explanatory. It's a labyrinth under slow gravity. Since we're still in World 4, we get denied at 0 immediately. Jump up to the upper platform while hugging the left side so you only take 1 banana. Keep going, switch to Kitty, then use a damage boost to get to the left side. From there, climb to the top with a tight series of jumps, grabbing only 1 more banana. Past that is a stack of wasps. Clear it with the lowest jump that still gets you over them. Low gravity makes it really easy to accidentally drift into bananas you didn't even mean to look at. Eventually you reach the scary part, that long descent that's basically all wasps and bananas stacked on top of each other. Hug the right side to drop to the lower platform without collecting anything, then glide cleanly through the gap. Hug left to avoid the wasp, take the 1 mandatory banana and swap back to the right. Dixie's hitbox is just barely small enough to squeeze through without getting tagged. Hit another Olympic-worthy vertical over the wasps and you'll reach the Quack's crate. With Quacks, weaving around the remaining banana junk is way more manageable. Then, there's this wasp-infested vertical shaft. This part is brutal. Enter, switch sides through the banana gaps, wait out the wasp, cut left again, damage boost, bait the next 2 wasps, sidestep them, and keep moving before the screen turns into a hitbox debate. After approximately a gazillion more wasps, you hit the no squawk sign. And it's back to Dixie for the last stretch. You want to jump in the tiny gaps between the red wasps and the bananas with surgical precision. Roll it in for a surprising 3 banana clear. World 4 was rough, but don't worry, because from this point on things calm down. We have a lot of 0 banana and low banana clears, so make sure you don't miss those. 5-1 Crevice Creepers. As soon as the level starts, have Kitty eat an explosive barrel for a damage boost. Jerk the next 2 barrels and keep climbing. Up here, stay under the bananas, grab the rope, and instantly hop over the banana line. Climb the platforms, then reverse land onto the edge of the last one. And at that point, you're forced to take 2 bananas just to keep moving. A bit further in, you'll see 4 ropes stacked on top of each other, guarded by explosive barrels. The game clearly wants you to jump from the far left, where the bananas are, but it turns out you can just speed blitz the enemies and climb cleanly. Get up the rope, then jump right over the banana arch. Keep climbing and land on the slope while gliding so that Dixie lands in a running animation slipping right below the banana. Wonder what to do next for about 5 minutes, then finally realize you can jump directly to the rope above. Use a well-timed damage boost to reach the next ledge and get Dixie back. Further ahead, there's another rope climb leading into a cannon barrel, but since we don't like those, take the right path into the bonus barrel to conveniently skip it. Sadly, the next cannon is mandatory. Get in, accept the 4 bananas, and you're back on ropes again. No time to think here, jump right immediately and glide to the right side before dropping to the next rope. As you can see, the explosive barrel is now stationary below our feet, but since we don't want to get by with a sacrifice, glide in place with Dixie to reset its position. Drop to the lowest rope and immediately jump forward over the bananas, only grabbing 1 in the process. Keep in mind that this has to be done as fast as possible, since stopping even for a split second will result in the second barrel locking you in place. Final climb. Damage boosts Dixie up to the top, and you'll reveal a vertical shaft with 3 ropes you have to descend. The problem is that there isn't enough room to just brute force it, and Dixie's glide is too slow to properly juke the enemy. But since this time we're going down, there's a little trick we can use. Turns out the anchor rings are about the only point of the rope we can't latch onto. So spin off the ledge, and as soon as you start falling, immediately hug the wall to cleanly fall to everything for a refreshing 7 banana clear. 5-2 Tearaway Toboggan. Another toboggan level. Get ready for the worst. First off, the game wants us to take the cannon that'll shoot us through a handful of bananas before forcing us into the toboggan. But we can skip most of them by slipping off the ledge and gliding into the bonus barrel, only collecting 1. Pass under the bananas, jump. I was just messing with you. There's actually a way to skip the toboggan and all these bananas at the beginning. It's also the single hardest jump in the game. It took me about 1 hour of attempts to land it. Here's how it works. Roll into the wasp as Kiddy, and Dixie automatically gets popped into the cannon. Shoot her back diagonally, and the moment she touches the ground, jump forward while sprinting to cancel out the momentum. Then slip jump through the wasp with the remaining iframes and jump again as soon as you land, making sure you don't touch either the cannon or the toboggan. Now, we can finally play the actual level. The first roadblock is a big banana arch. Since we're on ice, we can quite literally slide under it and only collect 1 banana. Then hop over the wasp with some nasty precision and keep moving. Throw Dixie over the next arch, paying attention to have her land as close to Kitty as possible. Otherwise, you'll end up collecting 10 bananas. By now, you'll be used to slip jumps, so get past the next arch with it. Now another wasp stands in our way. It is technically possible to throw Dixie above the bananas without collecting any, but by doing so, Dixie slides into the wasp. Since we cannot afford the sacrifice here, clear the obstacle by collecting a single banana. Abuse the slippery floor once again to slide below the wasp and throw above the next one. This line of bananas here is too long, so throw Dixie to collect only the last one. Same deal for the following one, especially since it's on a slope. The rest of the level is pretty tame, as you pretty much just have to glide over everything. The only obstacle remaining is the final section. Glide over the first wasp, then precisely jump over the second, while also dodging the bonus barrel, because that would teleport you right back into the toboggan, and that's the one thing you do not want to see. Finally, slip jump to the barrel, collecting only 1 banana for a crafty 6 banana clear. 5-3 Barrel Drop Bounce. Right as the level begins, wait for the barrel to drop and bounce on it to evade the banana arch from below. After you reach the platform above, there are 7 bananas we need to evade. You'll need to make use of the falling barrels. Glide to the other side of the bananas, pick Dixie up, tap into your clairvoyant powers, predict when the left barrel will be at its highest and throw Dixie on it, collecting only 1 banana. It's finally Kiddy's time to shine. First, climb the waterfall by parkouring on the falling barrels, then throw Dixie inside the cannon to avoid the bananas. Here the game wants you to go left, but Kiddy can actually turn it up a notch. At this height, the barrels normally stop spawning, unless you keep refreshing them by entering the cannon again. So re-enter until one spawns at the absolute max height, land on it, pick Dixie up, and reverse throw her onto the upper left platform with a release so fast Steph Curry would feel disrespected. This lets us skip an entire climb with 7 bananas in it. Get into the cannon and awaken your third eye once again to land precisely on the middle banana before jumping to safety. The rest of the level is actually quite easy to get through. A few more clean throws and we're at the flagpole. Nice and fun, 2 banana clear. 5-4 Crack Shot Croc. Enter the squitter barrel from the right side to collect only 3 bananas for a nice and easy 3 banana clear. Yep, I'm serious, that's it for the level. The whole stage is built around Squitter, and the gimmick is the sniper shot that gets fired at you every so often, but it doesn't hinder us whatsoever. Squitter's hitbox is extremely low, so most of the level boils down to just sticking to the ceiling, crawling through from above. There are a few harder vertical climbs that you'll see on screen, but really all they take is some patience and precision. So yeah, let's move on with 5-5 Lamguin Lunge. First roadblock, the opening banana arch. At this point it's a regular customer, just glide under it. The only thing you have to watch out for is the lamguins. If you land on a penguin at the wrong time, it can pop you up into bananas you really don't want to touch. A little later, the game wants you to bounce on the penguins to move forward, except there's a banana bunch positioned right above their lane, so we can't afford to play trampoline the normal way. Let Dixie take one for the team and move forward. Now for the weirdest moment in the level. There's a single banana arch, nothing new. But for some reason on that platform, your first throw feels like Dixie gets shoved backward by a phantom wind. The intended solution would be to damage boost off the enemy and throw Dixie over the arch. Except the phantom wind makes her come up short. So here's the fix. Get onto the platform, dodge the enemy and do one throw purely to break the curse. Then jump on the enemy for the boost and throw Dixie over cleanly. Keep jumping your way through the penguins for a 0 banana clear. Been a while since I got to say that. 6-1 Buzzer Barrage. Another level played with quacks, which means another level with loads of maneuverability. There aren't many technical aspects to cover here, only this narrow corridor that requires stupidly fast inputs to the point where I had to slow the game down to get through it. For the rest, just keep in mind that Quack's hitbox is smaller than it looks, meaning you can get away with squeezing through every vertical shaft. Use your iframes wisely to skip tighter sections, and you got another 0 banana clear. 6-2 Confused Cliffs. Another level where you're basically on a timer, because the ropes burn fast enough that hesitation becomes a mechanic. As soon as you start, line yourself up with the gap between the bananas, swap sides and keep climbing. When you reach the first buds, do the safest thing imaginable. Touch the burning tip of the rope on purpose to grab the iframes, then slide straight through the enemy. Quickly switch sides to avoid the bananas, then again to avoid the enemy. Coming up is a banana arch you don't want any part of, so preemptively jump onto the very end of the other rope and repeat the same pattern shortly after. Retrieve Dixie, who will turn out to be useful immediately. Jump off the wall for a damage boost, avoiding the 4 bananas in the middle. Just don't grab the rope too high because there are more bananas waiting above on the right. With a quick maneuver, slide down and jump into the barrel avoiding the enemy. From here, just keep climbing while avoiding the countless waves of enemies that come your way for a challenging 0 banana clear. 6-3 Flood-Lit Fish. The fish may be lit, but this level most definitely isn't. Let me turn up the brightness for you. This level is played as en garde, meaning you have the utmost control over your movement. Just like 6-1, abuse your maneuverability and precisely align your hitbox to the gaps in tight descents for a light 0 banana clear. 6-4 Pothole Panic. Jump down the hole and stay just to the right of that opening banana column so you break the Squawks crate on the way down. This level is much tougher compared to the Quacks ones we've had to clear so far, since he'll be carrying us around instead of taking our place. The first hurdle is right behind the corner. Perfectly align yourself with the gap and jump over the enemies to leave this U-shaped tunnel without any bananas. This corridor is tricky. These enemies drop a banana upon getting hit, meaning shooting them is absolutely a no-go. To get through, we need a really precise damage boost. Stand at the very edge of the chick's flight path and follow it to collide with it at its leftmost point. Then quickly dash through its friend, get into the water and switch to en garde. Make your way through the underwater section with him until you come across this banana arch. Ditch your swordfish friend so you can slip right below the fruits, and get out of the water hugging the wall. Get back on land while only grabbing 1 banana. Leave Ellie behind again, and bring Dixie back. Immediately you're gonna need her for one of the tightest jumps in the entire game. Line up below the platform and grab the banana above your head. Then jump ever so slightly to your left, just enough to avoid grabbing both bananas. Glide in place for a few frames, then hold right to land precisely on the edge of the platform and weave under the right banana with your running animation. Soon, you'll run into a squitter crate, but we won't need him since we're right next to the exit regardless. Leisurely walk your way to the flagpole for a 2 banana clear. 6-5 Ropey Rumpus, possibly the most technical level behind Ripso Rage. Starting off the level with 2 very precise glides in a row followed by a slip jump. Climb the ropes, and on top of the platform you'll see 2 wasps guarding a set of 2 bananas. Frankly, this jump looks impossible. And that's because it is. Grab the TNT barrel in the back and take out the lower wasp. Then slip jump with as much momentum as you can manage and keep gliding until you land on the lower platform, entirely skipping the rope above. Take the cannon to be propelled back on another rope. Manage a few more precise jumps in a row, being careful to land precisely in the gap between the bananas. Hit one last glide and keep on climbing until you reach that long stretch of bananas with wasps mixed in. Let Kitty take the hit and glide your way to the other side. Unfortunately, when you dismount the rope, there's one banana you just can't avoid grabbing. Now, time for the final stretch. Use yet another damage boost to glide over the banana arch, then carefully make your way to the very last rope. Here, jump as soon as the yellow wasp moves to the right of the red one. Glide between the banana and the buds. Right before you land, stop gliding and drift left to dodge the rising wasp, then immediately push right again to dodge the one you just passed. Jump backward to adjust your glide line, then squeeze through the gap again, for an extremely difficult, but also slightly disappointing, 1 banana clear. 7-1 Conveyor Rope Clash. Yet another very technical level, but the first half of it can be cleared quite intuitively. Eventually you'll reach a section with 2 ropes, and the wasps boxing you in. There's no clean way above them, so you have to commit. Hit a really tight slip jump with full momentum to reach the other side while collecting only 1 banana. Right after that, use Kiddy for a damage boost and follow it up with 2 precise glides. Now comes a ridiculously hard section, a massive ravine to get through covered by 3 ropes, 5 wasps and 21 bananas. It's possible to get past the first 2 wasps unscathed, but we're stuck the moment we hit the end of the rope. So for this one, we have to think outside the box. Get past the first wasp and retrieve Kiddy. Then get back to the left side with the damage boost and enter the bonus barrel. When you leave, the DK barrel will have respawned. This way, you'll have Kiddy in front. Damage boost off the wasp as it's rising and hit a ludicrously precise glide to squeeze between the rope and the bananas. Line up with the wasp, and as soon as you're lower than it, hold right to barely make it to the other side with 0 bananas. The rest is simple enough. Time your jumps well and glide under the last rope for a quite tough 1 banana clear. 7-2 Creepy Caverns. This level absolutely sucks for this challenge, and not even in a fun tech heavy way. It just sucks. The entire level is built around cannons, which means there's very little room to outplay the banana placement. Most of the bananas here aren't avoidable, they're just assigned to you. The only real quote-unquote highlights are this line of 6 bananas where with a precise jump you can get away with grabbing only 1, and at the very end of the level where you need 3 glides, 2 to thread through the wasps, and a final glide to only take 1 banana from that last cluster near the flagpole. The rest of the bananas are just forced upon you by cannons. All you need to know is that most of the time you can reduce the collected amount by changing your direction mid-air, and that I'll always be doing that. Since nobody is here to listen to me say the exact same thing over and over, you'll be seeing them on screen now to round up the banana total for this level. Yeah, sad outlier, 45 banana clear. 7-3 Lightning Lookout. Feel free to play this as a normal level since it only has a total of 18 bananas. Just remember to use your damage boosts wisely for an unremarkable 0 banana clear. 7-4 Coin Dozer Clamber. This stage is fun but unforgiving. Let the coin dozers catch you a single time and it's game. Clearing this level without collecting bananas is actually not that hard. It might take a few tries since the key is in landing precisely on top of the dozer's shields, but since they move a lot and the portion of the shield you can stand on is way smaller than it looks, you're frequently going to be turned into a pinball. So carefully line up your jumps with the help of these guys for a frantic 0 banana clear. 7-5 Poisonous Pipeline. The only poisonous thing here is the gimmick. Whenever you're swimming, the controls are inverted. This obviously doesn't hinder us in any way, but it makes it harder to perform precise maneuvers. As soon as the level begins, hold left. Just go right. Collect 4 bananas and keep swimming until you find a bonus barrel that will let you take control of Enguarde. Squeeze your way through seemingly impossible gaps to get to the no Enguarde sign, switching back to the Kongs. Immediately use a damage boost. Don't worry, you'll retrieve Kitty right away. Then quickly float your way up, and since there's no way to jump through this gap, collect another mandatory banana. Here the urchins don't give us much room to breathe, so even while paying the utmost attention, you'll be forced to collect 2 bananas. Finally, damage boost, and I'd tell you to go hug the left wall to avoid the bananas, but for some unknown reason there's a banana inside the wall here. And since there is no space to do this on the other side, keep going left and take the bonus barrel to come out on the other side of the vertical shaft. Pop back onto land, grab 2 more bananas on the way out, and finish at the flagpole for a deeply annoying 9 banana clear. 8-1 Stampede Sprint. The last side-scroller level of the game, except this time we're riding Ellie instead of a toboggan. Don't worry though, just like the last time we can skip grabbing Ellie to play the level normally. Take the half-hidden bonus barrel to the left of the DK barrel, and when you pop out you'll have squawks carrying you. Fly as high as possible and go over the no squawk sign to turn back into Dixie and glide over the bananas and Ellie alike. Now, let's take a look at the actual level. Is what I'd say if you weren't forced to play it with Ellie, since the camera won't go forward no matter what we do. So enter the barrel and start the side scroller. Don't jump for the first banana arch and collect 3 bananas. Jump as late as you can over this hole to collect 3 more. Damage boost through the hedgehogs, get your second life back, and immediately damage boost again to avoid the bananas on the ground. Get your life back again and collect 2 more bananas with yet another damage boost. Finally land precisely on the edge of the platform, collecting last 2 bananas for a high-paced 10 banana clear. 8-2 Crisscross Cliffs. This level is much harder to clear than it is to explain. There's a line of steel barrels that cuts through the entire level and you have to bounce on them to get to the very top. There are bananas scattered along the climb, but in most spots there's just enough space to thread the needle. The level is basically split into sections, because on the way up you'll hit groups of red wasps blocking the barrel path. To deal with them, each section has a switch that turns the steel barrels into explosive barrels, and that's how you clear the next obstacle and keep climbing. Let's look at the execution. To reach the first switch, bounce up while staying as far right as possible. Hop off, then do the same climb again, but from the left side. Hit the switch and keep moving upward. The easiest way to find the exact edge of a barrel's hitbox is to tap the movement input once when you're roughly centered, letting the residual momentum take you all the way to the edge. Rinse and repeat what you did already for the second switch and keep climbing from the right side. This is where there's by far the hardest jump in the level. Slide down the wall to avoid hitting the first barrel that comes, then line up to the very left edge of the barrel's hitbox as fast as possible. Doing so, you'll only collect a single banana from the arch, while avoiding both the ones in the shaft and in the following column alike. The rest of the level is easy enough. Do the last climb while staying on the right to avoid the bananas, and when you're close to the top, damage boost to glide over the last set of bananas for a hard-earned 1 banana clear. 8-3 Tyrant Twin Tussle. This level is lame. It's lame as a level, and it's even lamer for this challenge. The entire gimmick is Tyrant Twins hopping around trying to crush you. Normally, the quote-unquote safe spots are basically where the bananas are. So to clear this level without collecting any bananas, you just stand right next to the bananas instead of on them. That's it. Boring 0 banana clear. 8-4 Swoopy Salvo. The final tree climb of the game. Right out of the gate, start with a really precise reverse throw to snag the Squawk's barrel. As usual, Squawks is a godsend for this challenge. He lets us weave around banana placements way more cleanly, assuming you don't get pecked to death by the upcoming 100 swoopies. In this first squawk stretch, after weaving through the swoopies, there are 2 mandatory bananas you cannot dodge. So take those, keep flying, dodge about 100 more birds, then aim for the bonus barrel that'll spit you back at the no squawk sign. Now is Dixie slip off the branch and glide in the gap, landing precisely on the swoopy, letting you land faster. As usual, ropes suck, so eat up 9 bananas on your way up and make the jump without losing Kiddy, which won't match what you see on screen since I forgot to record the winning attempt. From there, make your way to the left 3, being careful not to touch any bananas. Here, perform a zip to get shot few levels above where you were. Right after, do some quick parkour off the swoopies and hop into the next bonus barrel. That'll TP you into the right tree, skipping the banana mess at its entrance. Climb the rope and don't stress about getting hit since there's a DK barrel at the top. Keep climbing with the help of the swoopies and finish the level in style with yet another zip that drops you directly in front of the flagpole for a very technical 11 banana clear. 8-5 Rocket Rush. This level moves way too fast for moment-to-moment commentary, so I'm just going to let the full run play in the background while I explain what's going on. Rocket Rush is interesting because it's played entirely on a rocket barrel with a fuel system. The goal is simple, make it to the end without crashing or running out of fuel. Fuel management is the real challenge here. Steering with the side thrusters drains fuel, and if you collide with an enemy from above, the game kicks on the main thruster, which burns even more fuel. So for optimal execution, burn wasps with the side thrusters instead of frying them from above and letting the main thruster eat your tank. There are fuel cans spread throughout the descent, which aren't really a negotiable. If you don't collect them, you're 100% going to run out of fuel. The ascent is very straightforward. There are no enemies and all you need to do is avoid hitting the walls, and in our case, the bananas. You won't lose immediately after crashing into a wall, but you'll slow down considerably, making you run out of fuel. There's an unsolved mystery here at the end of the level that me and my editor could not get to the bottom of. At the very end of the level, the game forces you to steer back towards the center, collecting at least 1 banana, even when hugging the right wall. I was able to get 1 banana within the first 3 attempts, but then when I tried to replicate the same exact conditions, I was either getting 2 or 3, and I have absolutely no explanation for this. If you guys have any idea as to why this happens, feel free to tell me in the comments. Time for the final scores. We managed to collect 0 bananas in 17 levels, 10 if you wanna exclude warp barrels. We managed to collect 5 or less in 11, and 10 or less in 6. We managed to obtain a medal in 85% of the levels. 70% of the levels scored gold or silver, and 42.5% got gold, 25% if you don't want to count warp barrels. These are my scores after spending hours on each level trying to figure out the optimal path. I don't know whether it's possible to score less bananas, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. If I missed something while weaving through the bananas, make sure to let me know in the comments. All in all, I really enjoyed coming up with different strategies each time, and it was interesting to see what the game would throw at me. Except for Rips a Rage. Fuck you, Rips a Rage. One last note, this video was heavily inspired by particular mushrooms and Game Champ 3000's minimum banana challenges. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to go check out theirs too if you haven't already. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next year. Have a good one.